Hey everybody, Jillian here. I have a brand new Bible journaling process video for you today, and this is one from the archives. I created this a while ago, and I'm just now doing the voiceover for this. So I'm showing you here that I'm using some notes, study notes from the book of James, and I'm flipping over here to James 1 to show you an entry that you may have seen on Instagram. I kind of walked through the process of creating this one over there. If you want to check it out, it's saved in a highlight on my Instagram profile at HelloJilski. And so I'm just going to show you here how I'm taking these notes and getting my takeaways down here in Joshua, and I'll explain the connection in a minute. So I've got a bunch of different print and pray pieces that I plan on using today, like this piece from a set called Be That My Vision by Brianna Showalter, along with a bunch of different, here's the rest of that set, so cute, all these little critters and glasses, along with some collage papers from different 100 Days sets. Like this one is from 100 Days of Less Hustle, More Jesus. I have the Storyteller grid labels, just a whole bunch of different things that kind of matched the color scheme I was going for. Here's some word fetty from Jill that's available in the Print and Pray shop, and I love this because it has all of those little words like it, the, our, my, your, and this pad of library cards, which is from the Adopt shop, and then a couple of stamp sets. This one with all of the fun shapes is a vintage illustrated faith stamp. It's not in the shop, but sometimes Shauna opens pre-orders for those, so be sure to follow along with Illustrated Faith over on Instagram so you can find out when those types of things happen. So I went ahead and typed up some of my journaling on this library card and then cut it down because the card was too big and I didn't want it to just be this card on my page. And then I'm going to go ahead and layer some of these like more painterly elements underneath those things that are printed on cardstock. I feel like a lot or almost all of the Bible journaling entries that I've shared in this Interleaved Bible have some sort of like card or something like that on here. So that's why I didn't share this project this page right after I made it, because I was like, are people tired of seeing this? But I figured I'd just go ahead and share anyway, since I wasn't able to get a video out this past Wednesday. Whoa, that was overexposed, sorry about that. So I have just bits from Brianna's set. This little pink box is from the Living Word devotional kit from Brave Little Taylor. I love that printable set. And included with it is a devotional in which Taylor gives you like 4 lenses to study the Bible through, which is pretty cool. So as you can see, I'm letting some stuff hang off the edge. I'll go ahead and trim off anything that's hanging over and then try and use it someplace else like I just did with that little swatch piece. And then I've got this buffalo plaid washi that I'm going to tear in little pieces and put in a few spots just to add a little more interest. There's really nothing new here that I'm sharing, folks. So inspiration for this page comes from studying a passage in James 1, chapter 1, verses 14 to 15. And I'll go ahead and read that to you guys while I'm cutting some stuff out here. It says, "But each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Then desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death." So in this study, which is a free study from Jen Wilkin, she takes us to 3 different passages in the Bible: Genesis 3, here in Joshua 6 and 7, and then in 2 Samuel 11, I think it is. And she has us read each passage and then note the progression that happens before the sin occurs. So in Genesis 3, Eve saw the fruit, she wanted the fruit, she took the fruit, she gave the fruit, and she suffered because of that sinful choice, right? Same thing with David and Bathsheba. He saw her, he wanted her, he took her, and he suffered. And so same thing here in Joshua 7 with Achan. And so she points out that we see this pattern emerge of see, want, take, suffer. And so I thought that was so interesting. I've shared before about her Bible study process in a resources I use for Bible study video that I did. I'll go ahead and link that if you guys want to check it out. And in her book, after you learn the process, it's an inductive process. She has you practice some of the things she teaches going through the book of James, and so that's what a friend and I are doing now. She just so happens to have done an 11-week study with her church through the book of James, and there are audio recordings of that teaching and then even a workbook, which is all available on her site, and that's what I have here in this teal folder. So I'll link that all for you down in the video description below if that sounds like something that you're interested in. It's one of my favorite things. Like, it's literally my hobby. So I used those alpha stencil outline stamps that Emily Karwoski designed for Illustrated Faith to get my title out, See, Want, Take, and then I used those little word fitties from Jill layered on top of the one another's washi tape to kind of round out the phrase, see it, want it, take it. And then I'm just going to use the rest of the white space here to add a bit of additional journaling, basically documenting everything that I just told you guys about my study. So here I'm looking through my ink stash to find a green that is similar to that printable, and I didn't have one, so then I thought, okay, well, I have a Neo color that's similar to that. So I've stamped one time on camera before with Neo colors, and I'll show you how I do it. So I dirty up the stamp on my skin. I rub it on my skin a little bit. I take a teeny tiny bit of water and apply that with a paintbrush, and then I color over the wet-ish stamp with the Neo Color crayon. And you can see here on this scrap piece of paper, I'm just testing to see how much water I want. And so I found out the best application was to put a little bit of water on it, stamp that water off on the scrap piece of paper, then color over with the Neo Color, and finally stamp it on the page. If I didn't get some of that excess water off first, it would be super blotchy and you would have no idea that that was what the stamp impression actually was supposed to be. So Jen in her study says that marketers know the lie that we tell ourselves. It doesn't hurt to look. And she argues that this pattern of sin begins with our eyes. It begins with what we see, and then she refers to what Jesus says in Matthew 6:22, where he says that where he basically says that our eyes are the way that things get inside of us. And she says that we must do battle at the I see it point and not at the point of I want it, which I thought was really interesting. And it's already shifted some habits, which is really, really helpful. So now I think I have most of my journaling done. I don't remember. I made this a while ago, like I said. So I'm just going to try and fill in some of this white space. I have the finished page in front of me, and it looks like I don't add much more. So I went back again with that one stamp set in the Neo color. I'll list the specific color in the video description below. And then, here, I go back to this collage paper and then cut out a little, like, section of art marks to add to this one spot. Then I'm going to go to the rainbow grid labels from Elaine Davis that are available in the Print and Pray shop. These are the Storyteller ones, so they match with the Storyteller devotional kit. And I'm going to cut this guy in half and put it down in a couple places. So I'm just indicating here that I want to put a tab there. So I end up going through my 100 Days of Less Hustle, More Jesus folder where I have a bunch of printables that coordinate with that project. And then I'm just going to use my tab punch to get a piece of that patterned paper out and then glue that guy down and reinforce it with a little bit of this buffalo plaid washi tape. I don't want to waste this guy. I want to figure out where I can fit him in. It looks good there. So to fill in this space, I'm going to go to my trusty Illustrated Faith watercolors and just put some black paint splatters down. Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, man, I totally forgot. I am going to put some green paint splatters down using this Neo Color crayon. They look black. Maybe it's because I only have computer light in front of me. Alright, so that was a very messy way to finish off my page. So here you go. Here's a finished look at my entry along with maybe a couple close-ups. I don't know what pictures I took. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Again, don't forget to check down in the video description for those Bible study resources that I mentioned. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.